Mr. President, you see, the last couple of days we've spent time in Transform Africa talking to leaders and industry leaders, world leaders, and we talk 70% of the population is under the age of 35. And yesterday we had the opportunity to meet and talk to 6 other world leaders besides yourself. And we discussed that besides the first row is already shining gold. This is gold that we have. And I think working with these talented people last 3 days, it really showed that it's true. Mr. President, maybe if you can tell us how all of this fits into larger goal of Transform Africa that you so incredibly organized. It's been an amazing success beyond any doubt. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Orjan. And let me recognize here the Secretary General of ITU, Dr. Madoun Toure, and the other collaborators here who worked so hard to have all of us together to attend this Transform Africa Summit, which was the second in about 6 years. And that carries a lot of meaning to Africa and generally, and to Rwanda in particular. Rwanda, if you look back, just in the last 20 years now, or about, transformation has carried even a much deeper meaning because of where the country is coming from, where the country has come from in the last 20 years and where I want to be in as short time as possible, is very challenging. The journey of transformation is very challenging, but it is also exciting because we understand that we have the tools, we have the means, we have the talent, and most of the time the talent is in a form of potential. It's a hidden talent. Not until you go out and, scratch the surface a little bit and also remind people that there is nobody else to wait for except themselves, then that energy and that talent starts coming out. And therefore, with that deep meaning, transformation carries for Rwanda or for Africa is what galvanizes all of us, and in mind, the bigger talent is that we have not realized, especially in our youth, our young people, the young people of Rwanda and the young people of Africa, and also building on the knowledge, the skills, the expertise that is already available in the world, and starting with you, Dr. Orjan, whom I want to thank very much for taking your time and being with us all this long and agreeing to share with us, with our people, and what really needs to bring out the kind of talent and energy required for a meaningful future of the young people who are here, which means a bright future for the country they belong to or for the continent they belong to, it was and has been and will continue to be of great importance. So I wanted to thank you for doing that. So really for us, putting this together and being mindful that it is important to have such a young people be part of this. On one hand, to some of us, it feels and sounds very obvious. So it doesn't take much to think about it. Sometimes it takes more to do it. But we try and do both. So that's how we are here for ourselves. We are here for other people, our people who are not with us. We are here for our country and for our continent. And thank you for being the link to the rest of the world as well in this particular case.
Thank you. Mr. President, it's been our privilege and honor to be here and to be able to share our experiences with the youth in Rwanda, but also all around the region. Matter of fact, on Sunday, with some of our colleagues, we went to Kagame refugee camp, and we spent an entire day. We learned that there was 6,500 young men and women, and we collected some of them, and we sat down and we had long conversations, several hours. You know, many of them have education, primary education, 6th degree to 6th grade. At first, it seems like they're lost. Whether you look into their eyes, whether you look their body composure. But when you spend a little time with them, when you point to certain directions, the sparks, like that young lady, they're alive. There is so much potential. And when you show them a little bit of a direction, they get so excited that the future is not lost. The future is within their hands. Yesterday, at a panel that you were sitting here with the other heads of states, you said that ICT has made a mark across industries and sectors. How about its mark in creating small and medium-sized enterprises, startups? Has ICT made that type of a leap in Rwanda, where you can see actually an acceleration of SMEs, where it could just go beyond the industrial areas and go into rural areas and at some point graduate into refugee camps?
We have always, in all our policies and programs, Rwanda has been, and the leaders and working with everybody, we put people at the center of everything we are trying to do. Therefore, even when people are talking about 4G, LTE, and the ICT sector, it's not about just the towns and people in the city here, and we are thinking ahead and saying, how does this trickle down and have an effect on the ordinary people in the rural areas doing their different things? And certainly that's how we come even to think of what is it that we can do to make sure that the activities in different sectors are well served to the extent that most of the population is covered. And that's how SMEs are thought about. And one of the key roles, for example, of an institution we have created, the Rwanda Development Board, is actually to think about that. How do we connect everybody in the country in what they are able to do, and we try and enhance that by bringing to them what otherwise has not been so common, yet that is within our means. And that's how we go down to the ordinary people or cooperatives or, small startups that people are thinking about in improving their lives. So there are different programs driven by the board, and through and in coordination with the private sector, and also linking with the government structures in a decentralized way that go down to the grassroots. So we are thinking about this because we know transformation has to be sector-wide, country-wide, and has to, link the top and the bottom, and you make sure that everything is moving. So that is the challenge we have, but also that we constantly try to turn into opportunity for the many lives that deserve to have those opportunities.
Another thing that I really appreciated yesterday when ICT was named as a utility, I thought that's an appropriate way of describing it. In your opinion, should entrepreneurship, to a certain degree, be considered as utility as well, and in such ways that there is a formal way of integrating young people and their activities in this space?
In a sense, that is really what it means. Even when we are talking about utility of any kind, as we said, whether it is electricity or water or broadband or other things, it's about how you are already thinking ahead and saying, how is this going to serve the people in different ways? So broadening the scope and the definition of utility is important, because you are thinking beyond the utility itself. You are thinking about what the purpose is and what it serves and how that impacts on the transformation of people is all about.
Our startups that we were working with this last 3-4 days, and they're more high potential, high growth driven. There are several ingredients that go with success of high potential businesses, namely, and there are 3 things: skills, funding, and market. Larger market for you to be able to grow it. Now, I visited K-Lab, great facility, and congratulations on having a new facility of that nature in Kigali. Visited K-Lab, spoke to entrepreneurs there and university students and what have you. It's amazing. You would think everyone will point to funding. That's what we don't have. There was not a single mention of money. Not a single time any of them talked about money. Talked about skills and where they can sell it to. So marketplace and knowledge-based skills in particular. I'm sure the young people here would love to hear from you, from their leader, what in particularly is being thought of or being done in Rwanda in terms of expanding skills generation, as well as having access to a greater market.
There are things we do nationally here in Rwanda, and we also think beyond Rwanda and look at the wider market of the East African community, which brings 5 countries together and 135 million people, but which also gives access to even other millions in the wider setting of our continent. There are different organizations that express themselves in these wider markets. So we think right from home and look beyond Rwanda and look at East Africa and then the whole continent as a market. This is very key. And as you rightly said again, I think it is probably the best way to approach it before even people worry about money or about, they think about, they concentrate on ideas that actually can generate that money, or if it is ideas that need money to be expressed, then we have created also possibilities at different levels where an idea that serves well this market, whether it is domestic or the wider market, would not lack capital in order to actualize it, so that it serves the one who thought about it, who had the idea, and serves the market as well, and the whole circle is completed in that way. Just as we said, thinking about the kind of utility we thought about and expanded it, therefore for what purpose, and it's entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship bases on the different ideas that have been generated or innovations that have come up. We try to make sure that all these dots are connected to make sure that we don't leave anybody behind, or there is no level that is left behind, but rather we think in a form of integration of activities, of people, of therefore ideas all connecting to form what constitutes the actual meaning of transformation of a society. This is the way we look at it.
In a minute, I'm going to open this up for all the young people to, as we promised, you're going to get to speak to the president directly. So, but first, I want to see in the room how many of you are entrepreneurs. And don't show me this, okay? Thank you. How many of you would want to be entrepreneurs? What's this? Come on, show hearts. There you go. I'm sure you have encountered some challenges, or you will encounter some challenges. So I have one more question that I want to ask the president, and then the president is yours. He's your president. So you better come up with some good ideas that you would want to share. You don't have to only have questions, but maybe you have a good idea that we would want to learn from. So you're welcome to present that as well. On that note, President, you just mentioned about the integration. I wanted to spend maybe a minute longer on that and see if there is actual ways that that your government is trying to bridge government efforts with those of young people. And essentially, in a way, what I'm trying to point to, a formal way of activating youth. And by activating, meaning there's so much energy. Let's just let it go. It's whatever you guys do with us, do it all the time. It would be, I think, it would be a great curiosity for everyone. What is government's role in that?
Really, there is a whole range of things we do and have been doing and need to do. And it's an issue of how we can also keep improving on things as we go forward. But let me start this idea in answer to the question you've raised in a couple of ways. One, we been thinking about what is it that the country can do for our people, and provide the different possibilities that governments or that fall in the responsibility of government, that we try as much as possible to do. But let me also add that it's not just I don't believe it flows from one point to another just like that. I think it is a two-way kind of thing. We also always want to turn around and talk to our young people and say, don't just sit back and wait for what the government is going to do for you. Think about what you can do for yourself, even if you are to base on what the possibilities are that the government puts in place. So that, because what has been the problem generally, I have seen it in my own country here, Rwanda, and it's across the continent, maybe it's in other places as well. There has been an attitude, there has been a tendency for people to really sit back and just want to hold the government accountable for not doing much for them. This is right, that's fine, because there is really what you should hold the government or your leaders accountable for. But that carries a better meaning, it carries a more meaning if you want to do that based on challenging yourself and say, but yes, the government can give me only so much. How much am I doing to make sure that even if this opportunity is there and is available, then I'm really making sense of it and building on it to be able to move forward, so that you just don't sit back and wait for what is going to be done or availed to you. And the moment you tackle this whole issue from that perspective, you have a greater chance of progress and success. So that there is no apportioning blame and the blame game that that characterizes many societies. If we can reduce that and just take responsibility. So young people need to be reminded that there is a lot to hold themselves accountable for. And then that gives them the strength to hold accountable those others that should actually be doing or availing many other things that would facilitate realization of their talent and the different talents that are locked just in the young people and that need to come out and grow and benefit the young people as well as benefit their societies. So that's how we have tried to approach it, and it means the young people whom we want to partner with, even knowing that these are our future leaders, the leaders of countries, of our continent. We want to move forward together in a form of feeling that we are responsible, that we are accountable to each other, and we just don't have to sit back and complain about each other and say, oh, our young people, they're like this, every time they are on the streets doing that, and then the youth are saying, these leaders of ours, the governments, they do nothing for us. They just blame us every day for all of these kinds of things, because all of these things happen also. You find they actually happen there. But let's turn the whole thing around and make sense of what all of us have to do for each other or together and for our wider societies. So the young people, as they sit here, they shouldn't just despair and keep thinking about their problems and their future. They should be thinking about what they can actually do about that. And I promise, you know better than me, that there is a lot in you that sometimes it's like you are just saying. It's like Dr. Ojan, you were saying a while ago, when you ask them to put their hands up, some people tried to do this, others this, so why don't you do this? It's as simple as that. So even it's like the opportunity, seizing the opportunity. If you do this, you seize half of the opportunity. If you do that, it's a full opportunity. So it depends on how high you move your hand and how much you exercise your thinking and your desire to do things, knowing that even they have impact beyond yourself. They serve other people, and when other people are served well, that serves you even much better also. So it's really always wanting to create a win-win kind of situation. Where the society, and this is easier said than done, as always, but if things can be done, they should be done.
I can assure you, though, working with these guys last couple of days, you don't have to worry about these guys. They're not going to point a finger or wait for anything. They're doers. On that note, with your permission, I would like to pass the mic to Dr. Tim Reeson for him to conduct a moderation with our young people, asking questions to Your Excellency.
Sure.
Before we do that, how about a round of applause for His Excellency Dr. Rudin?
And remember to raise your hands this way. Not halfway, you're not going to get your name called.
Yeah, so just some guidelines for the questions. As Dr. Rujian said, raise your hand in the air. I'll call on each of you. When you have opportunity to ask a question, I'd like you to first say four things. Tell us your name, what organization you represent, where you're from, and who on the stage you are addressing your question to. Okay, so with that, this young lady right here in the front.
My name is Hawa. I'm from Mali, and I'm here as the president of the Association of Malian Graduates and Students in France. The first time I met the President Kagame, it was last May during Rwanda Day in London, and I was really inspired by his speech, and I asked him to share its message with every African presidents. And I've decided also to take my part and to share his message of dignity with young people. So we organizing the International Hope Week here in Kigali next December. We would like to bring many African young people from different countries, from West Africa, East, Southern, and so on, because most of the time I've noticed that we do not know each other. So we would like to come here in Rwanda, because Rwanda is really inspiring for me, and I would like other young people to be inspired also. So we have the chance to have the support of the Rwanda Youth Minister, Mr. Nsengimana, and I'm very pleased to be here also with Dr. Amadou Touré, who is Malian, and my Mali young minister, Mr. Diarra, who is here. So I would like to share this with you and invite all young people here also to come back in Rwanda. This is my first time. I really feel home. What we are going to do is not especially about ICT, but ICT will help us to share our message. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You have my full backing for that. And you're most welcome. And actually, I remember her raised the issue, made some good comments in London, I remember. So I'm glad you've been able even to play your part, as you have said, and so welcome.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I'm called Morenzi Frank. I think Mr. President, we met before. And my colleague, there's a colleague of mine from Kenya, he was saying he never got an opportunity to speak or to meet his president. But I thank my president that he has given opportunity to the youth. He always meets youth at every time. Actually, there's a youth conference that always happens every year. So thank my president. I like him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud to be Rwandan. And he's a man of actions. He just said it's easier said than done. But for him, I like him for he's a man of action. He acts, he doesn't say. So anyway, like my issue here is like I work for Serena in the sales department, and I'm an entrepreneur. He said, how many entrepreneurs are here? I'm an entrepreneur as well. So I have a couple of questions. We're all here. Thanks for the Transform Africa. It was brought home, and it's really a big opportunity to meet different people from around. And it's really making Rwanda a home of different people. Someone from Mali is already thanking to be around and wanting to make Rwanda a home. Anyway, yeah, Rwanda is a great place. It's a small nation, but it's very great, and we're proud to all be here. So anyway, like I wanted to address two questions to the main guests we have, Mr. President and the other guest, Doctor. So like, the first one is, you're talking about developing the youth and everything. It's a great initiative. First of all, I want to thank RDB for the good work they're doing. I'm seeing Miss Claire around. They're doing a good job to encourage people to start up companies and be innovative and everything. But like, yeah, we need support. However much like you encourage the youth to be creative and innovative, yes, we are creative and innovative, but we lack some support that we can get from people like you. You've said the government can give us support and everything, which we are already having so far. So I encourage the youth to be more creative, and please don't hide down there. Just come out and, be creative, open up and give your opportunities to people who can help you. Just don't hide your ideas. I like the competition that was held. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Yeah, like it's a good idea for the competitions. But another things to do with competitions. Let me hope like this competition you've done, the checks I've seen are going to be given out so quickly. Because like alas, there's another.
Here in the front. And when you ask your question, please, the President's time is limited, so please get your question right away.
Good evening. My name is Emeka Ogbogu. I'm from Nigeria. I represent a startup called Yellow Navigation. I have a question for Mr. President. I was talking with my friends, and we're talking about how many Western companies come to Africa to do business. And we're talking like these guys, the government could create a policy where those companies, they adopt startups and give them access to capital and top management, whereby the government give them incentive like tax holiday for a while. I think with that, startup can get access to management and fund. So I want to ask what the president thinks about that.
About what? I don't think I'm getting.
Okay, right. I said there are so many Western companies coming to do business.
Western companies?
Yeah, coming to do business in Africa.
Right.
Yeah, and we thought about like they could adopt startups, maybe like 4 or 5 startups for a while, and they could give them access to capital and top management. So, and the government could create incentive by giving them maybe tax subsidy for a period of a while.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, what is your opinion on this?
My opinion is I don't see any conflict between Western companies coming to set up shop in any place or in Rwanda and helping the startups access whatever they need. There's no conflict. Both can happen at the same time. And anyway, some of the, as you call them, Western companies that we have here or any other place on our continent, they employ people. They employ Africans. They employ, people of different countries. But as that happens, so startups should also happen, and it doesn't, as long as countries have thought about ways of helping, as we said earlier, people with ideas to be able to express them in a form of entrepreneurship and be supported in any way that they deserve. I don't see any problem. They can happen and they should happen all at the same time. We shouldn't suppress one for the other. We want both of them.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Faduma, and I consider myself a global citizen, but I'm from Somalia. My question is to you. There's a lot of dreamers, visionaries, entrepreneurs here in the world, but I wanted to ask you one question about, if you can give us one advice to be successful, what would be one key advice that you can give us, or something that keeps you motivated, that we can take that in and also go about in accomplishing our dream and becoming a hero and a leader like you are today? Thank you.
I don't think there's such a thing that is there waiting for people to grab and run with to be successful. But certainly, I think as people have been discussing all for these days we have been here. And people become successful in different ways, in different things. And being successful means you have an idea, or there was a problem, you want to deal with it, you want to grow, you want to develop, you really want to aspire and achieve your aspirations. So you have to have a good idea, you have to work hard. Young people, you have to work hard. There are no shortcuts. When you're talking about different things here that are very exciting, don't be thinking about shortcuts. No. Think about achieving as fast as you can, but always bear in mind that comes with hard work. Means putting much thought and time into it. It can be shorter, it can be longer, but you have to start from wanting to invest yourself, your thinking, your energy, your passion into what you are doing, especially if you have defined the problem you are faced, or the challenge that is there to deal with, and then what exactly to do for that to be addressed. Whether it is a goal or ambition or an aspiration you have in mind, it's about and being. Sometimes success may come after so many attempts and so many failures. So success doesn't just come every time at the time you want it. But you always want to keep wanting success, isn't it? Even when you fail in one attempt, keep wanting success, and then you might try another route, and so on and so forth. So when you are down, you should never be out. You should always be wanting to come up again and move on. So success is very precious, but it doesn't come as easy as that. You really want to work hard.
I guess one way of looking at what young lady was just asking, you need just to find something that you love doing in life and make a living out of it. It's as simple as it is. Then there will be not a single day that you need to worry about waking up to go to work. Your life will be a rosy flower. And those really successful people, you wonder why they get up at 4 a.m., go over hours. They have no concern about any of that. It's because it comes from heart. Right. It's the best medicine to success.
Black shirt, glasses.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Giovanni Havgova. I'm the General Manager of KLab. At KLab, our philosophy is we never have questions, instead we have solutions, because KLab it stands for Knowledge Lab, which is an innovation center specifically for ICT. We are a group of youth who meet on a daily basis, trying to solve the daily challenges that Rwandans face or the entire continent faces. So the reason I'm standing is purposely to thank Dr. Almen. He did make it to KLab and shared us his success story and some of the key factors that one needs to succeed. But also take this opportunity to call youth who could be here and haven't joined us at KLab to join us, because at KLab you'll find an ecosystem that you can never find anywhere else on this continent. We have Carnegie Mellon mentoring us at KLab. We also have BSc giving us the fastest internet in Rwanda. So this is an opportunity for me to call those other people who haven't joined us to come and create solutions and be more innovative. Thank you.
Let's go in the front here, orange shirt.
Good evening, Mr. President. My name is Thompson Luther, and Doctor, I really have a suggestion. I'm from Tanzania, and right now we are only 3 Tanzanians in this room. And I believe it's a great opportunity. I'm really happy, but I'm so sure there are great minds outside there in Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, which are more bright than me, but they don't get these opportunities. So my suggestion to you, Doctor, was if you could try use technology, share whatever you're sharing with us with the entire world, which will make your work so much easier than just waiting to go there physically. It will really help, and with the help of Mr. President, you can try to convince the other heads of states and use that platform to help Africa.
Just to comment on that, we are actually working tirelessly day in and day out on a technology that's going to allow it to do just that. We're currently in prototype phase, and it's something that we're working on within our own entity. And when it's out, it's going to blow your mind away because the world hasn't seen a solution of that nature. You would never want to leave it. And yesterday we briefly spoke to the other heads of states who are very eager to have similar types of engagement in their respective country. We had the president of Kenya, Burkina Faso, Mali, Gabon, who are very interested, and they see the opportunity that these types of engagements will bring to their societies. So at least there is some preliminary conversations of taking this to other places on the continent, but also once the technology is set, I promise we'll bring it here and to Tanzania. We got to go to Zanzibar one of these days.
Thank you. Let's go yellow shirt.
Good evening. My name is Wamahoro Nadia. I'm the CEO of Data System Limited and the Gira ICT project. It's a company that deals in document management system, and Gira ICT part is a work frame to sell ICT gadget and to promote ICT gadget usage and ownership. We try to link hardware manufacturers to the consumers, and we bring in financial institutions to fund them, to fund their end users in order to help them to access these gadgets at low cost. So my question here is, it's a suggestion. I think in order to transform Africa, I think we need also to establish laws that can help entrepreneurs to get funds easily, and to also to get or to win the tenders, because sometimes it's not easy for a young entrepreneur to win tenders while there is some other big companies. And I would like also to thank His Excellency, the President of this country, the way he does everything to inspire Africa and to make this country what it is, and also to inspire young entrepreneurs and Rwandans in general. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish I could do more.
Let's go the young lady right here in gray.
Thank you very much. My name is Arlen, and I'm a scholar. I'm a Bridge to Rwanda scholar. I want to thank Mr. President for having this evening with us, the youth, for inspiring us. And I have a suggestion. I was talking to my fellow a few hours ago, and he was complaining how they have skills, but they don't have people to take their skills, especially the IT guys.
Who was complaining? I'm looking for that one. I'm looking for that one with the skills.
He was telling me that when he goes to present his idea and his products, they first ask him the stuff, the what. They're like, they don't understand him. And my problem, and I mean my idea.
It's not understandable.
And my idea is, he's been telling me that they think Rwandans can't produce quality things, and I think that's not true, because some people do. And my idea is this: let's help those who produce quality products get known. I want to give you an example. If we could advertise like the RTV advertises every baby. I mean, if we could advertise something like that, I promise you it will have market. And please, young entrepreneurs who are here, try and produce quality things such that people will not judge you. Thank you.
When you look at President Kagame, how can you say that Rwanda does not produce quality?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm called Mtawaruka God. I'm a student in the University of Rwanda, College of Science and Technology, Pharmacist. I would like first to thank Mr. President for your efforts in enhancing and favoring the Rwandan youth emerging and taking their part in the world's education now, and for bringing Carnegie Mellon University as one of the opportunity for us to explore the research technology in Rwanda and in Africa at large. So my question is that though we have gone far, but research in ICT is still raw, I would like to ask your plan in enhancing research in ICT and innovation. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, I think you have really answered it in a way. When you are talking of CMU being here, they are here exactly to do that. And they are here for that purpose of bringing such institutions or people, you know, like even you have Dr. Orjan here and others who are here who have been interacting with you, but mainly in the area of the institutions we keep establishing and how we bring in quality people and the systems to serve us. It's all about achieving that. So I think you just need to take advantage of it. I mean, everybody across the board.
In front.
Thank you so much. I wish I had a T-shirt written, "I love my president." Because that's exactly. Yeah, it was a way to say it indirectly. You said we need to seize our opportunity. I want to seize this one for me to ask to meet with you, so that I'm going to say it loud. You will all get the idea. I kept this idea in mind for a long time, so I wanted to meet with you so that I can talk about it and try to implement it. It's an idea of a smart Rwandan, smart restaurant with Rwandan food. I've never seen Rwandan cuisine anywhere. It's dying. People are forgetting about it, and I know it's there. So as there is Chinese food or Italian food or American food everywhere, I thought about that. So you've all heard it. Don't steal it from me.
So why did you have to wait? RDB is a good place to help you. It doesn't even have to wait for the appointment with me, which may come very late. But
okay.
The other one is waiting to.
So they're hearing it from you, so it will give me a push. My other question was about, I wanted to ask how favoritism, you think about getting rid of favoritism. I mean, like if I have a cousin who has something and I'm in a certain level that I can provide the service easily, the cousin would come first, even if the solution is not the best. I take the cousin instead of the best solution. They talked about it in tenders. I heard it happening every time. I mean, very often, not every time. How are you planning to getting rid of favoritism, that way of...
You need to get rid of it, because you are the one thinking about it. I don't think about it. I don't have that problem. And I think you may even actually create a problem that is not there. But by paying so much attention to it, and it becomes a problem for you, I don't think it's a problem. If you look at, I mean, I don't think even this issue needed to arise here at all, because look at education as an example. Has the opportunity for our young people to access education depended on favoritism? Does the Minister of Education give an opportunity to be educated wherever, including even some of these young people who are selected to go and study abroad and supported to do that? If you look at what is happening, that issue does not arise at all. So it shouldn't even arise at any other stage anywhere else. For example, when they have been educated and people are out looking for jobs, well, the best way to even avoid it, and which we always talk about, you know that as well, we encourage people to create jobs, not to seek jobs. So if you are making an effort to, develop an idea, to base on it, to do something, to, job creators rather than job seekers, I don't think the issue of cousins come up here. Your idea is your idea. It belongs to you. Actions that will benefit you based on that are your own. They don't have to depend on your father, on your mother, on your cousin. This favoritism issue can be avoided. Where it is bad politics first of all. It is a bad way of life, and actually it encourages people to just do wrong things. Favoritism is another form of corruption. If you are thinking of doing something and you're only thinking about or to give an opportunity because of your position you may have in a government or something, and instead of thinking of people, your own people, the people you lead, meaning the whole society, and then you just confine yourself to a relative or something, it's just bad manners, it's just bad politics. And people need to, one way of avoiding it, though, is seize the opportunity and based on your own talent you have developed and that you have invested in or the country has invested in you to develop, and do something. Don't think about it. One way of avoiding it, of defeating it, is not to be bothered by it, but rather think differently and don't think you study, you graduate, and then after that you are thinking about your cousin giving you a job. Why do you think about your cousin giving you a job in the first place? It is one wrong thing for your cousin to choose you, to give you a job without clear criteria, but it's even another for the one who is capable of doing something and has to wait to be given an opportunity by his cousin or her cousin. Both ways it's wrong. In any society where this is given significance, it's just wrong. And we all need to fight that and insist on merit. Merit is important. That's why I was talking about hard work. That's why we're talking about making sure that we freely avail and work with each other to make sure that there are these opportunities we can build on our society and stop being narrow-minded. It's just being narrow-minded, if you think about depending on a cousin, on a brother, right?
Mr. President, we're drawing close to the end of your time. I wondered if, with your permission, if we might ask
you
2 more
shouldn't
questions.
be constrained by my time. I have given you my time, so you can. So, for as long as they are useful questions, so
Okay.
let's talk about that.
So with that in mind, if you have a useful question, raise your hand. Let's go. Okay, this vocal gentleman right here. It better be useful.
Thank you, Mr. President, for giving me this opportunity. My name's Ben Karenzi. I work for MTN, at the same time, the president of Kigali Youth Anti-Corruption Forum. I did a genuine observation and made me to carry out a statistical understanding on how my idea can work out. One is, we have a campaign for youth entrepreneurship, which is very excellent. Now, and to narrow an employment gap, I look at it in different angles. We need to have youth entrepreneurship. We need to have employment opportunities available. That's by creating institutions and investments. And now we need to have savings. And my idea is any person who has a net pay of $450 can easily save 2% for that. And in the period of 15 years, he will be able to save $30,000 US. And when you look at the engine of Rwanda, led by Your Excellency, it's a combination of young, energetic people. And now, when I ask my question myself, me, I'm employed in MTN today. I don't wish to stay in MTN for more than 4 or 5 years. If I ask myself, if I keep myself in MTN for more than 10 years, by then I'll be having a young brother coming up. He needs also to be in MTN. So I need to encourage my government and the rest of African guys who are here that us who are in corporate and government employments, we should also think saving our earnings, and in the near future, we go out, invest, create opportunities for those who are graduating, and also give hopes for our young brothers who are still in school. And yes, from that, I developed a concept paper, Your Excellency. I would like to request you, it is an aggressive approach. I would like to request you, if you allow me, I share with you the concept paper.
The RDB is my channel of...
Thank
I'm
you.
happy to do that.
Blue
channel for that communication.
Thank you. My name is John Stever. I run a space called The Office in Kiyovu. It's also an innovation hub, and anyone here is welcome to come by and check it out. We're piloting a slightly different model for innovation hubs on the continent, in that we're totally sustainable based on our membership fees. And that's kind of related to my question. I made a promise to myself when I started the office that I wouldn't ask for anything from anyone, especially from the government. Instead, I would like to ask you what we can do as the office and what other entrepreneurs in this room can do for you and for the country of Rwanda.
Good question.
Just to do more of what you are doing and connect with our people. I mean, you had the other ones, somebody mentioned that there are people complaining that they have skills, they don't know how to put them to good use. I think you would help in that. How do we, make sure that people have nowhere to exercise their talent and put their skills to good use? It's one way you can help as well.
Let's go in the back, in the blue shirt.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Yves Radukunda. I'm actually a recent graduate from Oklahoma. I was a Rwanda Presidential Scholar, so I want to take this opportunity to thank you for the opportunity to do my studies in the States. Well, this summit, Transform Africa, had different sessions on smart health, smart education, smart agriculture, and others. Recently, I was talking with students at KIST in architecture department in design. One of the students asked me a question that, what can I do as a designer? There's nothing much I can do to help the country. Because what is now really the focus is ICT and really technology. And my challenge to the student was, there is much you can do because technology, whether it's engineering and ICT in any way, is always influenced by the designers. But again, after investigating at KIST, I realized also that there is no collaboration between departments, that engineers focus on their projects and other departments focus on their projects. So my suggestion here would be, how can we encourage education to promote collaboration between different disciplines in universities? Because I think that, in my opinion, might affect the level of innovations that we are receiving. Because I'm realizing that there will be a need to bridge that gap in order to have real innovations, creative ideas that will take us to the next level. Thank you.
Education leaders are here present. I think they are listening. Those gaps need not be there. If they are there, they can be filled.
This fairly young man in the front here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lukman Lamani. I'm with Adgo International. I'm originally from Togo, West Africa. And I'm very happy. Like, I'm very pleased to be in front of two very inspiring leaders. Being with Adgo International, I really noticed Dr. Rujian's care for young people. And as we come here in Kigali, the young people we've been working with, the intern as well as the participant, they told me how much they admire you, and they said the president, their president, is also someone that cares so much about the youth. Now, I would like to challenge both of you to tell us a story of your own youth that's either funny or inspiring, that you never, preferably that you never told anybody else, that we can go home with. And what so drive your passion for the youth? Thank you.
If there is a story like that I've never told anybody, it must be for a reason. So I'm yet to decide whether you tell the story. That will be for another time. Go ahead.
Naturally, I had my reasons too, right?
In the front, please.
Hello, my name is Nixon, and I'm from Kenya, and I'm representing a company called M Health Solution Center. And I'd like to pose one question to you. If you are taken back to your youthful years, what could you like to see done, or what could you do? And
I thought I was still there.
Yeah, why would you insult?
Go ahead.
And one more thing I could like to pose to you. I know the Transform Africa Summit is ending tomorrow. So I'll be following closely, and I'm kindly requesting you to pose the same question to the other leaders so that we can actually get other ideas from there. Thank you.
Well, that's why I said I thought I was still in my youthful years. But, well, looking back, I think my youthful years have been full of challenges and trying to make sense of those challenges. And I think I can just tell young people here, or our leaders, my colleagues, we live for a purpose as individuals or as societies, and we just have to do the best we can, bearing in mind that there are responsibilities we carry for ourselves or for others, and at any one time, there are things you can do and that will have a meaning to you or have a meaning to others. So it's just having that in mind that will influence any other actions or things people get involved with. So for my youthful years, which I thought I was still enjoying, have not been a waste. I tried to make sense of that, and I want to continue making sense of what is still left in me to do and that I can do. And one thing is just to come here and tell you that you can live meaningful lives and allow others to do the same. And if others live meaningful lives, and it feeds back into your own lives. So that's the way I can put it.
So maybe just one or two more questions?
Sure.
Sure, okay. I see a lot of people reaching for it. Higher. Okay, there's a gentleman in the gray shirt. Right here in front.
Thank you. My name is Fizer. I'm a Carnegie Mellon University student. I wanted, first of all, to thank you because this is a great opportunity given to us, not only Rwandans, but all the youth in Africa and in sub-region. So I am part of the first promotion that started last year. So from what we've learned up to now, there's something I can summarize it maybe in one sentence. Looking at ICT solutions, we used to look at them as products, as stuff that we use. But now we start seeing them on technology level, where we challenge the technology itself. And then we can say, is this technology the right thing for us? Or can we phrase it in another way? Now, someone asked a question about research. And I wanted to phrase it into another way and say, we are studying, we are getting great skills, and maybe being encouraged to create our own jobs and go and perform as we can. But this research thing is very important and very key to have a support from the government and have, like for most advanced countries in technologies, they really put a huge budget, an important budget on research itself. So I wanted to know in coming years, what is the strategy of the government of Rwanda for researchers to get really places and enough means to work on these emerging technologies, but to contextualize them and put them into what we need exactly. An example is creating solutions where we have, let's say, a payment method. Today, we're no longer thinking of necessary PayPal or Visa. Today, we have mobile money, we have local solutions, African solutions. We want to integrate them to our to our solutions. So now, tomorrow, if another technology emerges, we want to be at that level of understanding the technology, working really hard on that technology just to put it on the level of what we need. And this requires really the government to support this sector of research. So that's where I wanted to ask, what is the strategy? Thank you.
But I think, I hope there is no confusion here. And you are the right person maybe to clarify this. You are a student at CMU, the branch here. What you are doing there, what you are studying there, how is it divorced from research? I thought you are studying at the same time you are doing research. I thought it is part of the whole study. I thought they were actually together. I didn't know there was one process and then there's another somewhere else. I think I'm getting lost a little bit with that because, no, and if you are saying, you are aware also under Ministry of Education, there is a whole department actually supposed to deal with research in education at all levels. But I thought it is better to look at it in a way that the two are fused, the whole process, and the higher you go, the more research that is actually necessary, and that coming together with the different academic endeavors that you are undertaking. So the budget for that specific area, if you will, if you want to take it away from what it should be together with, is also relative to other pieces of the budget that goes into education generally or other academic endeavors that we have to undertake. And it is there. Now, if it is not enough, it's because maybe the budget for education overall is not enough. So, because they are closely linked. So, I'm raising this because when you say, research, then what you are doing at your level, and say we are not having, even if you think you are not having enough invested in the research area, it's because even in other areas, actually there is not enough. But I want to look at it in a way that they actually move together. So, I don't know, Minister of Education, if there is probably something I'm missing, if you want to really have anything you want to say. Or if you understand the question, because I don't. Is the Minister of Education here in Rwanda?
If there are not enough funds for research, it is because there are not enough funds maybe for other education sectors as well, but education goes along with research, at least at a higher education level. And I think we need to talk also about these grants which are there. And for researchers, I think they need to know how to write, to apply for those grants. But there are opportunities here and there in our country and elsewhere. So,
and in fact, maybe to add on, again, it might be a wrong way of looking at it. Where the Carnegie Mellon branch is, where he's studying, and the research that is supposed to go on there, you should be aware that around Carnegie Mellon, other things are developing. There is a whole cluster, of industries that build on ICT and other technologies or engineering that we are encouraging to set up shop. And really the whole purpose is for these people to absorb the students that are studying there. And I don't see how research is missed out in this, because it necessarily has to be part of it. That's why some of the industries are being invited to come and establish themselves, technology industries and others, around the CMU that is built there. So are we on the same page now?
Okay. Why don't we finish with one question? Who has the most useful question in the room? I'm looking for utility here. Who is the most useful question? How about in the back? Yep.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. My name is Janvier Tsove, and I'm a Bridge to Rwanda scholar, but I'm not the one who was complaining. I have two questions.
No, one.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll put them into one.
Quickly, also.
In Bridge to Rwanda, we're doing a great
it
job.
as business.
Okay, yeah. In Bridge to Rwanda, we're doing a great job. We're being taught how to think critically, and we're being helped to compete for international scholarships to go in the US and Canada and Europe to get a better education. So my question basically is, what is missing in Rwandan education so that maybe even Americans, Chinese and Japanese can also compete to get scholarships in Rwanda to be admitted in Rwanda? And how can we find that thing? Thank you very much.
You see, I was going to interject when you said the useful question. Let me qualify what the useful question should have been in this case. The useful question is that question you may take advantage of asking here that probably you wouldn't have an opportunity to ask elsewhere. Now, because you see, some of the questions people are bringing up are questions we deal with every day anyway, and that things that can be sorted out in-house. But here there is a whole range of people from across the continent and beyond, and so on and so forth. There are some of those questions that actually they would want to actively participate in. But let me go back to the comment you have made. You see, you when you are on a journey, or even before you start running, you start with a step. And you move. You don't necessarily jump and you are where you want to be. There is a journey to travel. So the question you're talking about, I think, should have been obvious to you right from the start, that we are building institutions, we are building systems, we are in the process of building. So the opportunity we have had to send students abroad, they don't go to just US, they go to other places as well. So the question is, we wish you could have everything here with us so that people don't have to go anywhere else, but actually people from other places come here as well. So I want to tell you that actually some people from elsewhere come here as well, depending on what they are looking for. I think you have seen many universities from even the United States or other places come here to do part of their studies here. There are many, you've seen them. But if it is to create institutions where people will compete to come here and study here, well, you know what it takes. It takes time, it takes resources, it takes a lot of things. So we are on a path to doing that. But before you achieve that, do you stop actually sending people elsewhere where they can get as much knowledge as they can, maybe that may not be provided here in the country, or you let things happen, all happen at the same time differently and satisfy different needs as you go along? I think this is the main issue.
Okay, with that, that concludes our question and answer session. The last thing we're going to do tonight is to have the spokespersons from each of the winning teams come up when I tell you and stand in front of the stage. You can leave your your checks, but we want to get a photo with the President and Dr. Arujian. Just some closing comments for me. First of all, I want to thank you, Mr. President, and the government of the Republic of Rwanda for your hospitality and your support. It was a tremendous honor and a privilege to be a part of the Transform Africa Summit and to be here with you tonight. I had a sense of what I might anticipate shortly after landing, and I got into a taxi cab, and the taxi cab driver said to me, where are you from? And I said, the United States. And he said, oh, Obama, you have a very good African president. He said, but our African president is much better. So, but thank you again. So if the spokespersons from each of the winning teams would please come up and stand in front.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay, sorry. Mr. President, you can come and stand here. I want to echo on what you just said, the last comment about opportunities and how these types of opportunities should be really captured and galvanized. You know, in life, you can either run after the rainbow or do something with sun rays. Running after a rainbow is an empty dream. See what you can do with the wonders of the sun's ray. And these types of opportunities don't come often. When you have it, you capitalize on it. You do whatever it takes to capitalize. We've experienced this with all of our people here, capitalizing on those opportunities. And we, as AFCO International, we're capitalizing on the opportunity that you've afforded us, for which I thank you tremendously. And Dr. Tourette, thank you for organizing Transform Africa, period, making this possible for the entire continent, and because of that, we happen to be here as well. It's been a great opportunity. It's been great being with you and working with you internationally, but also now in your own country, Rwanda, which we're beginning to really understand and appreciate. Thank you.
Okay, we'll take the photo. So if the spokespersons from each of the winning teams would please come stand in front on the lower level. And on the stage. Okay, on the stage, I've been corrected. No, on the stage. Thank you. Okay, downstairs. Congratulations. Very nice to meet you.
Joe Barnes, pleasure to meet you. Thank you for having us.